Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone who looks on the bright side of life, welcome to the Wednesday Night Joke Net here on 146715 Repeater. I am KE8PVL, your net control for the evening. My name is Nemo, November Echo Mike Oscar, and I am located in Denmark Township. Before I go any further, is there anyone that needs this repeater for emergency or priority traffic? All right, nothing heard. If anybody does need the repeater for emergency or priority traffic, this net control will recognize break and your call sign, and then we will gladly concede the repeater for the duration of your emergency. Again, this is the Wednesday Night Joke Net here on the 146715 repeater. This is a directed net, and all traffic should go through net control. Everyone with a valid amateur radio license is encouraged to participate, and everybody else that's listening to us, however else you're hearing us, we appreciate you there too. All right, this net meets every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on this repeater, and the purpose of this net is to have fun making each other laugh, coming up with crazy punchlines for this week's joke. This is a 3-round net, so please stick around or you may miss something. Before I go down the list of regular check-ins, let me just say this repeater is owned and operated by the Ashtabula County Amateur Radio Club. It is available for public use. Obviously, you can get to this repeater via RF. It has a negative offset and a PL tone of 141.3, but you can also get to it via Echolink. The Echolink node for that is N8CT-L. Please treat the repeater like it's got a 2-minute timeout and allow for clean breaks between transmissions. That's just polite. Other than that, we are good to go. Let me break for time. We'll go down the list of regular check-ins and we'll see who else is here tonight. All right, with that brief station ID out of the way, again, this is KE8PVL with the Wednesday Night Joke Net. Let's start at the top of our list. We'll see if Jeff is around. KC8 LAR.
KC8 LAR Mobile, and yes, I am around, and I'm here with my friend Brian.
Your friend Brian, is he a ham operator?
Negative, but it's all about his life, the life of Brian.
I got you there. All right, everything's on the bright side tonight. Very good. Hanging around, hanging around. Okay, we'll go down the list of Wayne, Alpha, Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet.
Good evening, everybody. Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet.
All right, Wayne, thank you for joining us tonight. Good to hear you on the radio, my friend. We'll reach out to Vito, see if he's here. Alpha Delta 8, Oscar India.
Alpha Delta 8, Oscar India here. Mobiling and Echolink. Back to it.
Ooh, mobile and on Echolink. That's 2 for 1 there. All right, very good. Thank you for being here tonight, my friend. Appreciate the effort. How about it, Jim? KE8 LFR, are you with us tonight? All right, nothing heard there. We'll reach out to Hiram. I thought I heard his call sign coming out the radio just a little while ago. W8KNO Joe.
W8KNO is here tonight.
All right, very good. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Now we'll go almost a little farther, probably even a little farther in the opposite direction. How about Bruce, Victor Echo 6, X-Ray, Tango Charlie? All right, nothing heard there. Hopefully he's doing okay, checking in a little later on. And there's nothing wrong with his internet connection, I hope. We'll see if Ken's around. We'll go Kilo Echo 8, Yankee Bravo November, KE8 YBN. Ken, are you with us? All right, nothing heard there. He may be at square dancing class tonight. We don't know, but that's where he was last week. Hopefully, he'll check in on the rebound. How about Dan, N8DRL? All right, we're going to work on getting him a station set up maybe shortly soon. I know he's been having some issues with that. We'll get it together for him over there and get him back online because we miss him on the net, that's for sure. All right, that rounds out the list as I have it. This is KE8PBL in the Wednesday Night Joke Net. Are there any stations wishing to check in, new ones, or anybody I might have missed? Please call. All right, nothing heard. Well, all them other stations that are regular check-ins that aren't here tonight, they're going to miss a rare one for me because tonight's discussion topic is going to be a little out of character for me. Some of you might not understand what I'm saying. That's all right. We'll get into this week's joke. How about that? Thank you guys for being here tonight, each and every one of you. Appreciate it. Let's go right into this week's joke. This week's joke. Oh, I had it right in front of me. This week's joke is, what is a scarecrow's favorite food? This week's joke, what is a scarecrow's favorite food? And since he's mobile, we'll start there. Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India Vito, thank you for joining us tonight. And what is a scarecrow's favorite food?
Scarecrow's favorite food would be crow pie. Yeah, that's all I got. Crow pie. Back to that.
All right, I like that one. A scarecrow's favorite food, crow pie. Absolutely, chase them things away too while you're at it. How about it, Joe W8KNO? What's a scarecrow's favorite food?
I really like that crow pie because I have no idea, and all I can think of is the Wizard of Oz. Back to you.
All right, scarecrow and crow pies and yellow brick roads and flying monkeys. We got you in there for that answer. Thank you for that. How about it, Jeff? KC8LAR, you've had a minute to think. What's Scarecrow's favorite food?
Good evening, Nemo. Everyone else on the net. I have to admit that Vito took mine. I was going to say they love to eat crow. That's all I got. With that, we'll pass it back to net control. This is KC8LAR Mobile.
All right, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon and flying away with that one. Awesome, very good. How about it, Wayne? Alpha Charlie 8 Yankee Juliet. What's a scarecrow's favorite food?
I'm going to break the mold here today. I'm going to go with strawberries. Strawberries.
All right, we got strawberries as an answer. We got you in there, STRAW berries, like the southern way of saying it, strawberries. All right, this is KE8PBL with the Wednesday Night Joke Net. That rounds out the list for this round. Is there anybody else that would like to check in? Please call.
This is Kilo Echo 8, Zulu Victor Oscar.
Kilo Echo 8, Zulu, Victor, Oscar, Ruth Ann, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure to hear your voice after a couple weeks. We've been missing you around the net here. Thank you for joining us. Tonight's joke, what is a scarecrow's favorite food?
I haven't had time to think about this. Favorite food, scarecrow. Oh, eating crow. I'm going to say crow.
All right, that's a top of the answer list right there, man. If we were Family Feud, that would be the number one answer on the list. Absolutely. How about it? Anybody else want to check in? Please call. All right, nothing heard. So tonight's joke, what is a scarecrow's favorite food? Ding, ding, ding. It is indeed strawberries. As Wayne would have us out there believing he got it. Nailed it right on the head. That's my answer tonight. The other answers were pretty good, though. I like the crow answers. Because what is a scarecrow good for anyway? But eating crow and chewing crow and getting rid of the crows. Because gosh darn crows. And, I haven't seen that many of them this year, but sure have seen a lot of raccoons. Anyway, that's good. This is K8PVL with the Wednesday Night Joke Net. Thank you guys for checking in tonight, everybody. Appreciate it. Before we move down to the comment round, let me make a couple quick announcements, and then we'll get into why everybody's really here. All right, so as we all know, the Aries District 10 Ashtabula County Emergency Services Training Net is every Monday night on this repeater, 146715, negative offset, PL tone 141.3, and echo link of NHCT-L. Also, the Ashtabula County Amateur Radio Club's weekly net is on this repeater every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Check in with them. There's some good folks over there. They could use numbers for sure on their net, and man, I wish some of them would come over here. That'd be a great opportunity for us to mix and match. Hey, if you have any announcements that you'd like to have relayed on this net, please feel free to contact me. Drop me a line via the Wednesday Night Joke Net on Facebook. Send me a text message. Contact me through YouTube, however you want to do it. Those are the main ways to do it. And I will try and get your announcement on the radio here with me tonight. Or next time around, or the next time around, or until you tell me to stop. How about that? All right. That's all the announcements I got currently. Let's get into why everybody's really here. All right, we'll go straight to the mobile station. Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India. Vito, thank you for joining us tonight. And what do you got for the group?
Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India here. I just got home. I was at M operator Larry. I can't recall his call sign. Downsizing. Picked up, I believe it's a 14-element 2-meter beam. Bunch of aluminum. Some caps and inductors to, as Jeff wants me to do, make a couple tuners and a bunch of other stuff. Picked up from there. Real nice guy. Worked at Steris where I work. Retired about 2-3 years before I started. But know several people that know him, so it's nice getting to meeting the guy and making a new acquaintance in the amateur radio community. Back to net.
Wowzers. 14-element 2-meter beam at 100 feet and 100 watts. Man, that would reach Kansas. Probably not quite that far, but man, I bet you'd knock most of the repeaters around on the state anyway. That would be a good thing to have up on a tower somewhere for sure. Hey, check that out. We'll keep on moving down the list though. Thanks for picking all that stuff up. Hopefully you have a good place to put it. 14-element 2-meter beam is a pretty long piece of equipment there. We'll keep on going down the list though. We'll go to Joe W8KNO. Thank you for joining us tonight, sir. Reaching out from far away. And what do you got for the group?
Good evening to everyone. It's good to hear you all listening to the thing. I wanted to check out my antennas. I put a new switch in between to choose the two antennas, and I marked one with some tape, and now I don't remember which one is which. But I think I'm on the beam because I'm on position B, but then A looks more like an arrow, so is that the directional one? I'm going to have to climb the tower to find out. Hi. So everyone have a great week, and back to you, Nemo, KE8BVL, W8KNO.
Well, hopefully you don't have to climb it yourself. Get somebody up there a little more spry, man. Don't risk that unless you're really feeling up to it. Absolutely. But you're punching through loud and clear tonight, man. Probably some of the best reception we've ever gotten out of you. All right, we'll keep on going. We'll go really, really far away. Checking in via Echolink. Thank you for being here tonight, Ruth Ann. KE8ZVO, go ahead.
Well, hello. I was anxious to tell you guys that I finally went to a meeting on Saturday, and there were like 30 people there, a couple of women. They had a Zoom meeting with the guy who invented, is it song or wrong? I don't have my paper in front of me, antennas, and he's going to offer our club 20% off, and then there was a demonstration. And so I watched them take it out of the package, hook it up, use it, and I thought, that's for me. I don't have to hook it up to anything. No permission from anybody, because you can put it on a telegraphing pole and telescoping pole, and then you're set. So I'm looking forward to doing that next month because we're going to order through the group. And I'm just plain enjoying Albuquerque, missing everybody, but still enjoying the area. So back to you guys, KE8ZVO.
Well, thank you for remembering all of us back here in Ohio land. We really appreciate it, and I'm glad you're enjoying New Mexico. And pretty soon, you're going to be enjoying it a little more, I'm sure, because that white stuff's about to come down here, and you know this area. We're going to be buried in it. Hopefully, it will hold off for a few more weeks, though. Sounds good, man. Hopefully, you get on the HF side, too, because that would be great. I'd love to chat with you over the air in that way. Absolutely. We'll keep on moving down the list here. We'll go to Jeff, KC8LAR. Good to have you with us tonight, my friend. And what do you got for the group?
Good evening, Nemo. Good evening, Ruth Ann. Good to hear you out there. Well, we went out tonight to Larry's house, as Vito said. And I think the call you're looking for is WB8PHI, if I remember correctly. And, good time chatting it up, and he took a couple donations, so it was a good night, and we talked it up. I'm just now getting ready to pull in the drive, so we'll cut it short, and pass it back to net control. This is KC8LAR.
All right, well, I'll let you jump out the car there. Come back inside and fire up the home finals, and we'll get you in the discussion round. I got a pretty interesting discussion topic tonight, I think. Anyway, at least a good one. How about it, Wayne, Alpha, Charlie 8, Yankee, Juliet? What do you got for the group tonight, sir?
Just happy to be doing radio. I've been kind of busy with my work and stuff like that. And last week I remembered at 9 o'clock that we had Joke Net, so I missed Joke Net last week, and I was pretty sad. But it happens. I'm just happy to be back on Joke Net. And just happy to be doing radio. Thanks for having me on that, Nemo. Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet, back to net control.
Absolutely, my pleasure doing it. I always appreciate the people coming in and participating. That's what makes this net happen. Absolutely, and fun to do because the people with the quick wit on the jokes that helps, and then the good comments and discussions as we go along. I know I skipped the comment or the discussion round last couple weeks, but I won't do that tonight. I've got some pretty cool stuff we could talk about, or at least cool subject matter anyway. All right, this is KEAPVL and the Wednesday Night Joke Nut. I am Net Control. Is there anybody who would like to check in before we get into the discussion round? Please call.
Victor Echo 6, X-Ray Tango Charlie.
Victor Echo 6, X-Ray Tango Charlie. Bruce, I got you in there. Thank you for joining us tonight, my friend. We missed you during the check-in round. I'm hoping everything was okay for you there, but I got you in the log. Anybody else want to check in? Please call. All right, nothing heard. All right, Bruce, we'll go right to you real quick here. We'll get you caught up. So tonight's joke was a good one. It's what's a scarecrow's favorite food, and we already did the comment round. So what's a scarecrow's favorite food, and take it away, my friend.
Yeah, I would say crow, because, if they have to eat crow, I guess.
Alrighty, very good. And like I said, we're already through the comment round, so go ahead with your comments for the evening, and then we'll get into the discussion topic.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed the beginning of the net. I was making supper and watching something on TV or on the computer, and all of a sudden I realized, oh no, it's Joke Net tonight. So I came on over, and it's been a hectic day for me because I had a friend to take me and my cat to the vet, and Delta has to go on this thyroid medicine for 4 weeks, and so it's going to be no fun at all trying to administer that medicine to the cat, so she's not going to like that at all. And then, of course, my friend came over 2 hours early because she wrote 1:15 on the calendar, but she thought it said 11:15, so I had a bit of a rude awakening there. But anyway, we worked it all out, and then I had to call her again to come over and take the pressure bandage off Delta's paw because of the way the vet put it on there, and I just couldn't get it off. So it's been quite a rough day. Anyway, back to net.
All right, we had the quick station ID in there. And, man, yeah, I hope everything goes well with your cat. It sounds like there's some recovery going on there, and sounds like it's going okay, though. But, hey, hectic, chicken with your head cut off, that's what I've been doing, too, the last couple weeks. But as far as missing, well, heck, I almost missed, too, because my wife made the best pasta dinner I've had in a long time tonight, and, man, I was so full I almost fell asleep on the couch before I had to force myself to stay awake for a little while there. I'm okay now, though. But, it was almost food coma for me. All right. Very good. But thank you, Bruce, for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. Let me take one more round to check in, and we'll go into the discussion round. Anybody want to check in tonight? Please call. All right, nothing heard. So, a bunch of you know, and I'm sure y'all do, I have I don't just do this radio net and put it up on YouTube. I also have a podcast YouTube channel, the Wednesday Night Joke Net, and me and my co-host were actually on another YouTube channel on Monday night, and we were discussing just a broad range of topics, everything from comic books to amateur radio to role-playing games and the like. And I was talking about the ARRL a little bit on that show because they're really a gaming channel. They don't really know much about radio over there, and so we were kind of discussing that, and it was kind of brought to my attention. I know all of you guys know that I'm not always the biggest fan of the ARRL, and I still have plenty of criticisms therein for that organization, but it was brought to my attention that I don't mention the good things that they do as often perhaps as I should, because I think I can go ahead and give credit where credit's due. So that's kind of what I'm looking at tonight. So, they did do the FCC did do the delete inquiry out there, and the ARRL submitted a whole bunch of stuff to them, including technician classes gaining more HF privileges, band updates, ID requirement reviews, our 10-minute ID requirement review. That's just one of the things that they did, and I can appreciate what they've done there. So also they did defend the 900 megahertz band, 900 to 928 megahertz band in the lower 900 section from the satellite companies. They were a big part of that. They were trying to encroach on that already had satellites up there without even asking anybody. There is also what are they calling it? The Emergency Preparedness Act that they've got going on there that is fighting the HOA laws and trying to increase the ability of ham radio operators to act in emergency situations. There's a bunch of other stuff that they've done. Also defending the 10 meter band and parts of the I-90 HF operations where they were forcing commercial radio off of the ham bands. So they were a big part of that too. So I guess my point is, despite the fact that I do have reservations with a lot of the stuff that the ARRL does and how they operate, tonight my line is going to be the ARRL is not that bad. So there are things that they do, and there credit where credit is due, absolutely, for sure. So that's where I'm at. That doesn't mean I'm not critical of them. It just means credit where credit's due. So that's my discussion topic tonight. We'll go right the way we were. We'll start with Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India. Vito, tonight, ARRL, not that bad, question mark.
Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India here. Wow, Nemo, it sounds like you just had a nice glass of Kool-Aid with your pasta tonight. Hi. I don't have enough experience in the hobby to see what everything that your likes and dislikes and whatnot. They seem good to me. I definitely want everybody to get on board with the HOA Emergency Preparedness Bill. That's going to help me out a lot. Being able to put something outside at least. So encourage everybody to get on, get a hold of your congressperson, and try to get that bill passed. And I know it's not just me that would help too. But yeah, I don't have problems with them. But again, I don't have the time in to have seen the way they've handled things or what they promote and don't promote and whatnot yet. So, but from the FNG from earlier, I think they seem to do at least an all right enough job, in my opinion. Back to that. All
right, well, I don't know about Kool-Aid, and tonight might be a one-night thing, but hey, I'm not going to get into all my other issues that they have. They have done some good, and I do appreciate when the good is done. Joe W8KNO, what are your thoughts? ARRL, not that bad? Question mark.
Well, good evening again. Well, I have a thing. I think I was a card checker for 15 years, so I have a lot of respect for what they do. But of the last year or so, it seems to be getting more and more expensive, and you don't seem to get as much value for it. And let's say I'm from the old school where you had phone. I started out with AM phone, so I don't follow so well with all of these new computer-founded ways of communication. So it's sort of losing some of its interest for me. Back to you, Nemo.
Roger that. Well, if you ever want to just do some old school AM phone, I'm willing to hook up the 10-meter rig and reach out to you that way. You know, you bring up the topic of the new digital modes, and the new digital modes are attracting people, but those people are not looking at, in my opinion, at the ARRL. They don't see the value there, and you know, it's like I was talking about a few nuts back, maybe a month or so ago. If you're not replacing and not doing things to attract your replacements, the younger crowd, then that would be one of my criticisms to the ARRL. Yes, they want new members. In fact, this was what I was talking about on the podcast that I was on Monday night. If you look at the related groups, that are like that, like in Canada and in the UK and in India, not that are the equivalent of the ARRL in those areas, their numbers are increasing and the ARRLs are not. And there's a reason for that. And it has to do with attracting the audience that you're trying to pull in. But I don't know for sure that our numbers are falling overall. Anyway, that's a whole other rabbit hole. I do want to give credit where credit's due, and there are a bunch of good things that the ARRL has done over the last couple of years, including, you know, a bunch of stuff. They are changing, like the RM shortwave monetization modernization coalition. I heard they're trying to form something about that. So there are things that are happening in the ARRL that are positive, and I kind of want to just say that it is happening. All right, let me break. All right, Ruth Ann, K8ZVO, thank you for joining us again tonight. What are your thoughts? The ARRL is not that bad? Question mark.
KEJZVO here. Before I forget, two more people just checked into Echolink in case you didn't see it. But I joined, believe this or not, I joined ARRL after my first meeting and before my first exam. So I didn't even have a license yet. And I did see that it used to be a paper magazines and all that. And I'm seeing that in my, like, Roses, they had to go to digital because they couldn't afford it. You think it's bad for ARL? The Rose Society nationally went from 20,000 to 3,000 members. You know you can't support a national organization and a whole big garden on that kind of change. And so I'm hoping that with the locals, that like down here, their big group it covers all the bases on the kinds of things people want to do. And I think they have over 100 members. And they do go out to the schools. They actually have ongoing relationships with some high schools, some middle schools, and with the Nuclear Museum, where they have an annual presence. and get kids on the radio. So I think it's, it's a vibrant community, which is nice to know. So there are some out there that, smaller groups like yours is really working hard to grow, the Amigos, but it's going to be an uphill battle, and I just keep trying. ARRL keeps trying to say they're helping, support youth. Don't they decrease the cost for youth to take the exams? Oh, and one more quick thing before I stop. I was wearing my shirt to the meeting, so they knew I had a license. And I realized on the back, the Amigos logo has a Mexican hat on it. So I just thought you guys would like that. So back to net, KEACVO.
All right, very good. Yeah, for the new club, you said has a Mexican hat. Or are you referring to our logo for the Amigos Club?
Yes, I was wearing my club shirt because it had my call sign, and I figured, when I walked in, they'd have kind of an idea. KEACVO, back to you.
Well, that all goes back to the club mascot being a Chihuahua and being our being Ray, his pet dog, and we used him for the logo and all that stuff too. So, hey, it is what it is, and actually it's there's a long story involving how we named the club, and I'll get into that later, but not tonight. Maybe I'll give everybody a little history on that later on. Hey, but thanks for the check up. It could because I don't have Echolink in front of me, so I don't see who is in and out. So if there's a couple other folks that are trying to check in, let's get them out of the way. This is KE8PBL and the Wednesday Night Joke Net. Anybody want to check in, please call.
KE8YVN, checking in your mobile. Back to net.
All right, KE8YBN, Ken got you in there. Thank you for joining us tonight, sir. Anybody else?
KEACVO here. It looks like the other person dropped out.
All right, well, that happens. A lot of times people will check in via Echolink just randomly to see if the repeater's active and whether there's a way to get in contact with people. I know I've seen and heard that and kind of done that myself once or twice. All right, very good. But hopefully they'll join us again one day. In the meantime, we'll go up to Canada. We'll go to Victor Echo 6, X-Ray, Tango Charlie. Bruce, thank you for checking in with us tonight. Appreciate you being here. You guys have a equal organization there, but what are your thoughts? The ARRL, it's not that bad?
Yeah, well, I can't really comment on the ARRL, but Radio Amateurs of Canada, they're fairly decent. I signed up and I get their magazine, and it's okay. I haven't really had any issues, and it would be nice though if there were more outreach by them and by local clubs to neighborhoods or like community groups and things like that. I think that would be one way to get more known that amateur radio is alive and well. I think seniors could do with it too, because I told a lady that I was an amateur radio operator, and she said that it was, she thought it was gone, an old, just one of those things that didn't exist anymore. So anyway, that's what I have to say.
Well, and that's the thing. Like the show I was on the other night, they didn't even realize that, we had that tornado that ripped through the North Carolina and Texas just 2 years back. And, the news media gives give Starlink and Elon Musk a lot of credit for what they did, and credit where credit is due, absolutely. But they were 2 weeks behind, 3 weeks behind, and it was amateur radio operators on donkeys climbing those mountains that were helping people out in the beginning there, and it was at least the first 2 weeks, and they were active and present for a month or more during the recovery operations. So, it's not until those emergency situations happen that people really start hearing about us, and then on top of that, the news media buries it. But if you go looking past the mainstream news articles, it's there's amateur radio operators in there doing what they do. That's for sure. All right, we'll keep on going. KE8YBN, I know you're mobile, so we'll just put you in the rotation right here. Good to have you with us tonight. Tonight's joke was, what is a scarecrow's favorite food? And we're in the discussion round. ARRL, not that bad, question mark. Go ahead.
KYBN, yeah, thank you. I didn't quite catch the question on the joke there, so I would just go right past that one. And the big ARL, I've never been on recurrent rhythm anyway, so I had no idea that's something to do with the stuff that you know, and just trying to just get doing with the mobile radio, and actually doing it with the mobile Echolink right now, because the radio doesn't get the performance is quite right. I got a glitch or somewhere. I got to check it out someday when it's warmer. So that with that back that there, take it right in. Where's the button?
All right, sir. Well, drive safe and drive safe and keep your eyes on the road. Absolutely. Tonight, this is the deer season out here, and those deer will be running, and I'm praying that you make it home safe. All right, Jeff, KC8 LAR, good to have you with us again, sir. And how about it? The ARRL is not that bad? Question mark. Oh, Jeff, KC8 LAR, are you with us still? All right, he must have had something going on there that he needed to get taken care of. So hopefully he's doing all right. We'll keep on going. We'll go down to Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet. Good to have you with us, sir. What are your thoughts? The ARRL is not that bad.
I'm not a super fan of the ARRL. I've been doing radio for a while. Rates are really one up. I understand the cost of doing the magazine and going digital. It's just the way times are. And I've lost one of my favorite magazines. It was called The Backwoodsman. They folded up because everything going to digital. But yeah, ARRL at least they're still there. They're still going. Yeah, they had some money problems. They got hacked. They were down for a while. But sometimes, hopefully things are changing a little bit. And sometimes organizations been around for a little while, they get stale. And hopefully they're moving towards a new direction. I personally, I'm going to break here for a second. This is Alpha Charlie, Yankee Juliet, and I think that it's the main thing what we have right now. It's the one thing fighting for our rights and stuff. I think they're starting to engage the digital modes a little bit compared to where they were 5 years ago. They need to work more on that because we need to get younger members into this hobby. And by sticking with HFs, I think it's always going to be the most, at least for now, at least for the foreseeable future, the most popular area for amateur radio. But your digital, your all that stuff, you need to start working, and hopefully they're going to keep working. So it's what we have. Nothing's perfect. Nothing ever is perfect in life, but it's what we have. I do have my complaints about it, but I'll take it. It's better than nothing. Back to Net Control. Alpha Charlie, Yankee Juliet.
Yeah, roger that on QSL Mag. I honestly, like, I can't fault them for that, to be honest with you. I know there's a lot of old school members of that organization that they pissed off because they went digital and started charging extra money, and I know their dues are way up there. So I get a whole bunch of that, but the magazine part of it isn't really one of them. I mean, if you look at what's going on out there today, anything in the print industry that is traditional print media, ink and paper is struggling. No matter what form it's in, what media it's in, comic books, fashion magazines, all that stuff. Technical papers, everything. If it's ink and paper, it's pretty much struggling right now. So I can't fault them for that at all. I've never actually said that was an issue in my opinion. I know there's folks that have. Are there things that they could be working on? Should there just be a general push to make any unused frequencies automatically put back into public domain? Absolutely. Should they be focusing more on getting youth and like the guys in Tennessee did, where they're like, oh, amateur radio is just now part of the course curriculum in all the community colleges? Absolutely. That's something I think they should be working on. Are there things that they are doing that are helping us out? Absolutely, there are. I think that is too. I think that there is a staff change that just happened over there too, and I think maybe that's going in the right direction. I know there's been some people that have tried in the past and not been successful into making some changes. We'll see what the future looks like, but like I said, there are some great things that they are doing, some good things that they are doing, and hopefully those things will come to fruition and it will benefit our community. All right, this is KE8PBL with the Wednesday Night Joke Net. That rounds out the list as I have it. Is there anybody else that would like to check in? Please call. All right, nothing heard. That's going to put a bow on it. I'm going to end the net. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Appreciate each and every one of you for checking in. Without you, this net couldn't happen. I'd also like to thank everybody who listens every other way you find us. Appreciate that. Digital formats, however that is. Special thanks to the Ashtabula County Amateur Radio Club for providing this repeater for us to have this net on every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And for all those currently serving and retired from service to our country, thank you for that. I know we just had a big special day for you just a little bit ago, and I was not on the air to say anything about it. But thank you, folks, for what you've done and what you are doing. Appreciate it. Your sacrifices will not be forgotten. This is KE8PBL. I'm going to return the repeater back over to normal amateur radio use, whatever that might be. Be good to each other, everybody. KE8PBL is clear.